A closely watched case that's become a viral sensation is making headlines this morning. You may have listened to or heard about that wildly popular podcast called Serial, which is about a convicted murderer's fight for freedom. Well, the subject is serving a life sentence for killing his ex-girlfriend, but has now been granted a chance to prove he deserves a new trial. ABC's Gloria Riviera is in Baltimore with this new development for us this morning. Gloria?
Good morning, Paula. What a case. It was 15 years ago that a popular high school athlete's life changed forever. His ex-girlfriend brutally murdered, her body buried in a nearby park, and a key piece of evidence in the trial revolving around this Best Buy parking lot just behind me. Now a veteran reporter making it her mission to definitively answer, did he really do it? And the same court system that sent him away, ready to reconsider.
So what they're saying is maybe there was another guy in there that I just never knew.
It's the public radio podcast helping this prisoner get a second chance to prove his innocence.
The podcast has had such a tremendous effect on potentially reversing a murder conviction.
At age 18, Adnan Syed was sentenced to life behind bars, convicted of the 1999 murder of his ex-girlfriend, Woodlawn High School star student Hae Min Lee, a case virtually forgotten until it became the subject of Serial, giving more than 5 million listeners the chance to hear a very different side of the now 34-year-old prisoner than the one prosecutors presented in his trial.
I mean, some real devious, cruel, Hitler type stuff, but I don't think I ever displayed any tendencies like that.
The conviction 15 years ago relied heavily on controversial testimony from Syed's friend, who told the court Syed called him from a payphone in this Best Buy parking lot, asking for a ride after burying Lee's body. Koenig's podcast exposing cracks in that testimony.
I just want to pause here and talk about this phone booth for a minute. Weirdly, we have not been able to confirm its existence.
All of Syed's attempts to appeal his conviction have so far failed. But Friday, in an unexpected twist, the Maryland court agreed to hear fresh arguments on Syed's case, citing ineffective counsel.
If the appellate court throws out that verdict because there was quote-unquote reversible error, the defendant here could likely go free.
The next step, the appellate court will hear oral arguments from both sides, but neither side is allowed to introduce new evidence or new witnesses. Still, some say that could result from anything ranging from a reprieve to a whole new trial. Regardless, we may very well see this case go all the way to Maryland's Supreme Court. Dan, Paula?
Possibly the power of a podcast. Gloria, thank you for that report this morning. You're a big fan of that podcast.
My wife and I listen to every episode. It is fascinating to see these new developments after the podcast concluded. It may be the case that she has to start that podcast back up again.
5 million. I know every time I go on a road trip, people are like, you need to start listening to Serial.
Yes. It'll make the road trip go very quickly.